Hey guys, KR here and we are back, and boy do I have a great video for you guys today. However, I feel like before that I owe you guys a bit of an explanation. Well, I don't owe you anything, but I feel like I should give you a bit of an explanation. You see, it's been a while since I properly addressed you, at least at the time of writing the script. I know I have done the newspaper video before this one, which was quite recent actually, but that was an unplanned video in that regard. So, you know, it's technically been a while since I last properly addressed you, which was the actual predictions video back in, when was it, February already? Jesus. So yeah, it's been a while. So yeah, let me explain. Recently I've gotten a properly powerful PC. You didn't hear that because my mic has a filter now, so sorry for that. Which can run games, edit videos and operate live streams a lot better than the laptop I used before. Which I, funnily enough, did write this script on that I'm currently reading from. So, you know, the old meets the new. Let's say it like that. But yeah, I'm not gonna do a whole ass setup tour, you know, to show you all the funny lights. Although I am going to show you the lights on the mic. That was all. That's all the lights you're gonna see today. But just know it's there. I'm currently looking at it. You know, now I'm looking at the monitor there. Now I'm looking at the PC. Okay. This means my content creation abilities have just got like a lot more horsepower, and I've gotten a lot more like the ability to do something. Take for instance the Life I Chose series, which I ran for a bit earlier this year. That was basically like the limit of what I could do in terms of storytelling and creation with that old laptop. Because, well, it was a minimally edited audiobook-like series with my crappy mic, although after that I started using a better mic. But yeah, minimally edited with like pictures that I did not own, barely edited, coupled with the fact I started getting doubts about its fan fiction-y nature, and I eventually ended it. Compare this to the NASCAR The Shootout series, which I ran for a bit last year, which was like the definition of a series I couldn't do on that laptop, yet did. Because, you know, it just did not work out at all. The storytelling wasn't great on my part, like that wasn't my laptop's fault, but like the graphics it could run, the editing it could do, it was nowhere near what this PC can do. And eventually I ended and deleted all of it because it just was not good at all. That's why this PC is such a big revolution, because I can actually make something like that. But, you know, good. This is also why I waited with making something big and scripted until, well, now, because I was planning for this PC to get here. And now that it is, we can finally do interesting stuff again. With all that out of the way, let's get to like the meat of today's episode, which, unlike all the hype I just built up, is not gonna be some revolution in storytelling or whatever. Instead, I wanted to talk about something else, because you may have heard my voice in some other videos. Most of it competition was from PQ guy who fitted and fell back, but now he's gonna have the 23 on it. And still read numbers as I can. Yep, that's me commentating races for Alan Mooch's ADPS. An NR 2003 series from the NASCAR Amino, which you should definitely join, by the way. Like the series and the Amino, they're both great. You should come over. However, if you do watch any of those races, you might notice something. Every time I get introduced or introduce myself, my name isn't KR, but Kevin Arson. Why is that? Well, it began as a simple name change for continuity purposes. You see, I am already a driver in the ADPS. Look, there I am. My name in that series is KR, which is funny because it sounds like KR. Laugh. Please, I beg of you, I have nothing but... Anyways, that meant that the guy in the booth couldn't be named KR because that's the guy out there on the track. I had to think of a new name, and I came up with Kevin Arson, which is nowhere close to my real name, by the way. Kevin, because it was the first not my name with a K that I could come up with. And the name Arson, because I started with R and adding son to it would make it sound like arson, which is funny. Please, I beg of you to laugh. Please, I will do. However, if KR and Kevin Arson are supposedly different people, Kevin needs to have a backstory different from mine. KR's. This is very confusing. Now the backstory of the KR driver character goes way deeper across multiple different universes and racing series, so that's a whole different can of worms that might be made into a separate video one day. Luckily, Kevin Arson's backstory is a lot easier, although there is some overlap. So without any further ado, let's go over the backstory of everyone's favorite niche Dutch NR 2003 Miss League commentator, Kevin Arson. It all started on the local racing tracks of the Netherlands, which was when KR and Kevin Arson would meet for the first and last time. Over the years, they raced it out in the lower levels of Dutch racing. From karting to production open cars, they were there together. If you'd ask Kevin, he'd say they became good friends and fierce competitors. While if you'd ask Kay, he'd probably ask you who that was, and after some clearing up, he'd wonder why you're asking about the random guy that drove last every race. Yeah, Kevin wasn't the greatest driver in the world and had quite the parasocial relationship with KR. Eventually, they went somewhat different ways. Kay went to GT4 cars, while Kevin went to junior formula cars. Although different cars, the weekends lined up quite often and Kevin still got to meet up with Kay to his, and only his, delight. Eventually, KR went to the United States to drive, well, whatever the fuck universe you're looking at says he drives, and Kevin Arson followed. Of course, because of his Formula background, he wasn't going to drive NASCAR and GT cars, but he did get an IndyCar seat at Lazier Partners Racing. It wasn't a great seat and he didn't do great, however he somehow raced towards a single fuel strategy victory at Mid-Ohio, which made the team keep him around until 2017, when he was unceremoniously fired for bad performance. He tried to make some starts in local leagues but had neither the money nor the direct talent to maintain a ride. Luckily, while in the States, he discovered a new talent, something he was a lot better at: commentating. It all happened when he came home one day to his roommate, who worked for a local TV station, in a panic. The IMSA Michelin GT Challenge at the Virginia International Raceway was starting in 12 hours, and the station had the deal to broadcast the race because it was local. However, part of the deal was that the TV station had to do their own commentary, and one of the commentators had fallen ill. The roommate himself didn't have time to commentate the race, and in a last-ditch effort asked Kevin. To Kevin, it was a fun opportunity and a way to get some easy money. Instead, he and the local crew found out he was actually a very good commentator. He got offered a contract and stuck around to commentate whatever race was in the state, from NASCAR to dirt tracks. This is finally where the universe is split, as Kevin gets a deal from whatever series you hear him commentating in. But seeing how they're all different universes, that changes. That he now commentates everywhere doesn't mean he doesn't miss racing. Social media commenters have called him a disgraced racer who couldn't keep up, and it's honestly hard to disagree. Although you'd expect this to anger good old Kevin Arson, it seemingly does not. He seems chill about his racing career, and the fact he has driven some cars means that he does have the experience to give some insight into the driver's experience. He really does seem like he has it all together these days and is a solid commentator who has a lot of fun being in the booth. Overall,
Hello, I'm Officer Langby of the Fort Myers Police Department. You're the owner of this building, correct?
Yeah, that's me. Is anything wrong, officer?
Oh, no, not yet. However, some people in the area reported to us that you had some sort of construction project going on recently, and I'm here on behalf of the city to make sure it's all legal and permits, the basics, you know. I didn't notice anything on the exterior of the building, however, so could you tell me more about this project?
I see. It's nothing really. Me and some buddies just built a hangout spot down in the basement. We used some construction materials to change the layout of the room and soundproof the walls and roof, but that shouldn't require a permit. However, if you want to, you can come inside to check it out, officer.
It's fine, honestly. We hate these calls just as much as you do. They take up our time and are usually false anyway. You enjoy the rest of your day, sir. I'll be on my way.
Thank you, officer. You enjoy your day too. Yo man, I thought you said you had this. Well, explain why they were at my door again. Quit the excuses, dude. If they're onto this, we're all fucked. Yes, of course I'm being paranoid. I'd rather not fail this. At least I'm self-aware about it. That puts me one step ahead of Stalin. Listen, dude. I can keep coming up with a bunch of excuses, but that won't last forever. Just do your work so I can get this done. Thank you. See you soon. They can't stop me now. They won't. Dear racing drivers.
Hey, I dropped by today like you asked. Same result as my colleagues, I'm afraid. He had a strong alibi and I didn't want to stay around as it just caused suspicion. I'm all for helping you out, don't get me wrong, but it just seems we're harassing some innocent guy. What do you want from him anyway?
The fact you think he's innocent shows his guilt. You know I can't directly tell you, but there's a reason we're after this guy. The fact we don't have the evidence yet is concerning, but I appreciate you trying.
Hold on. There must be something you can tell me. What is this guy doing? How bad could it be?
I can only tell you that the consequences will be dire for many, many people. Thanks for your help, Mr. Langley.
Wait, no. What the fuck did I get myself into?
Kevin Arson is just a really interesting character that I've created for commentary purposes. Of course, he doesn't have some insane backstory like the KR character, and let's not pretend he even has an actual character to work with for like a story. He's just a guy I made up for commentating purposes in NR 2003 leagues. Apart from this fictional history, he's not a lot more than me with a different name. I still hope you guys found this somewhat interesting. And the next time you watch an ADPS or any Misc League race and you hear Kevin Arson, you now know who the guy really is. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, let me know by leaving a like and subscribe if you want to see more. I'll see you all in another video, which will hopefully be soon. Goodbye.
Have you ever felt like a prisoner, but you haven't escaped yet? You're a rebel and not a follower, and you're destined to make it. Have you got a heart full of dreams? 'Cause I got a heart full of dreams.